Now from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather today. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, folks, here we go now on this Hump Day Wednesday. And of course, yesterday we had the weak cold front that moved through the area as advertised. And a lot of folks are ready for, well, some of these less hot temperatures that we've been talking about. And unfortunately, it may be, well, one more day on down the road, because today I think we're still going to be right up around 90. This northerly wind will very slowly begin to pull in, or what we call advect in, some drier and kind of less hot air again as we go through this afternoon. So again, as we get into tomorrow, Thursday, even as we get into Friday, I think we'll take the temperatures down a few notches. And then I think, well, as we get into the weekend, we're going to push the temperatures right back up. We'll detail that out over the next few minutes. But this is where we started the morning, and there were a few locations like up along the Red River Valley, like maybe up in Montague County, up around Bowie. Those folks 60 this morning. That was nice. Graham 61. There was some drier air, and in fact, you can kind of see where the drier air stalled. I mean, locally in the Metroplex, we were still in the mid-upper 60s, even some 70s in our southern counties. So that drier air, you can just kind of see the tip of it, if you will. That's going to be slowly trying to move in as we go through the day. And again, that will be at least the beginning of some less hot temperatures by a few degrees again over the next day or two. So again, 60s, even some 70s still even here in the Metroplex. I mean, Arlington was only down to 72. Those were your actual observed morning lows. There's the front. That's where it basically stalled overnight. It was losing momentum as it was moving through North Texas yesterday. So it's basically stalled just south of our southernmost counties. There are a few showers to note, at least this morning, out in our Texas Panhandle. None of this is moving towards North Texas. But again, if you are maybe traveling out towards the Panhandle today, do keep that in mind. Otherwise, again, if you're wondering where the bulk of the, we'll just call it fall-like air is, it's truly up across parts of Oklahoma, number one, so kind of in our neighborhood, but then look off to the north, right? You see the 50s, you see the 40s. There's the real fall-like air. So it basically made it to Oklahoma. They got some 50s up there. And then again, the frontal boundary basically ran out of gas as it moved into North Texas. But again, some of that drier air, some of that less hot air from Oklahoma on the northerly winds will slowly work its way in. But like I mentioned, even today, with the newest data coming in, data's putting us basically right back up around 90 this afternoon. So the upper level storm system that dropped the front into our area, it's now long gone. In fact, it's moving through parts of New England. It's hightailing it out of here. But here's what we're going to be watching as we get closer to the weekend. You can see this ridging pattern beginning to redevelop, right? You see these white lines, see how they go up. That's a ridge. Of course, if they come down, it's a trough. Trough is active weather, a ridge is quieter weather. A ridge typically means warmer weather. We talk about the ridge or the summer heat dome as we go through the summer so often. This looks very much so, look at that, like a summertime pattern. Again, you can almost see not necessarily a heat dome, but it's an area of high pressure, pretty intense high pressure across parts of central Texas, again, as we head into the weekend. So this weekend, got a big football game in town, Texas OU Texas. Temperatures around the 90s, again, out at Fair Park, again, in the Cotton Bowl. Then as we get into next week, we're still watching this upper level storm system out to the west, but I can tell you, unfortunately, all the newest data, there it goes. It pushes it off to the north, and I think next week we're probably going to be cold front free, and I think we're probably going to be precipitation free. So next week truly looks sunny, it looks warm to hot, and it looks relatively dry. We just don't see a lot of real changes in the pattern as we get into next week. But again, it is October. Things are subject to change, and things can change very quickly. But at least right now, we're just not seeing it. There's the modeling. Could be a brief shower in our eastern counties today, but outside of that, we do remain dry. This is over the next 7 days. Where could we see some precipitation? You can see up across Oklahoma, maybe out in the parts of the high plains, but it does appear as though North Texas, we do remain dry. So mid-80s in the north, definitely less hot in that direction. But again, for a good part of North Texas, we are going to be, at least for one more day, right around 90. Again, a stray shower, not impossible in our eastern counties. If you are making evening plans, we're basically through the 80s. That looks very similar to the last several days. But again, a fresher northerly wind, low mid-60s. These are your overnight lows. And then as we get into tomorrow, I think we do see more in the way of 80s around the area. Everyone tomorrow should stay below 90 if things work out just right. There's Friday, 87. That looks good. But there it is. We do rebound those temperatures right back to around 90 by the weekend.